Hey guys, so I've been using the Huawei Nova Y9a for a few weeks now, and I'm ready to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the phone. Before we get started, I have a whole unboxing on this phone and first impressions. If you want to go check that out, I'll have that linked in the card up top or in the description box below. The design of the Huawei Nova Y9a is very beautiful, especially the more colorful versions of the phone. The phone does come in three colors. We have Midnight Black, Space Silver, and Sakura Pink. The one I have is the Midnight Black color, but there are some beautiful variations of colors that are available. Something about the design that's also very refreshing is seeing a phone without a notch or a hole punch display, since the phone has a front-facing camera that pops up and isn't at the front of the phone. The camera module at the back also has a unique look to it, since the camera are arranged and positioned in this circular array at the back of the phone. Looking more closely at the phone, you'll see at the bottom it has a dual SIM card tray. We have our USB-C port for charging and the speaker grill. And at the right side of the phone, you have your volume controls and your lock button, which also doubles as a fingerprint scanner, which I actually really like. The fingerprint scanner is very fast and responsive, and I find it more convenient at the side of the phone as opposed to the back where it was on previous models. At the top of the phone, you'll see your headphone jack, which is really nice, and you even get headphones included inside the box. And lastly, at the top, you'll also see where the selfie camera pops up. Now for the display of the phone, it has a 6.63-inch LCD display, which is a very nice size for everyday tasks as well as comfortably viewing any type of media. It also has a 92% screen to body ratio, which is achieved by the thin bezels as well as the hidden front-facing camera. And the quality of the screen is pretty standard for any mid-range phone, and I have nothing to complain about when it comes to the display. This is a great device for someone who's looking for a device to do basic day-to-day tasks. And this is a mid-range phone from Huawei, so things like messaging, social media, watching any kind of content on here, it handles it very well. The phone has 8 GB of RAM and is running Huawei's EMUI 10.1, which is based on Android 10. Usability on this phone is very smooth. As long as you don't plan to do processing intensive tasks, then this phone will be a great fit for you. Gaming on this phone is also possible and it handles it pretty well, but it's definitely not made for intensive high-res gaming. I do find the no Google apps thing pretty annoying, and it just makes it difficult to find apps that you are looking for, and it's just an unnecessary hassle to have to go through. But the pedal search definitely does help in finding the apps that you are looking for. Sound quality on this phone is not something that I was very impressed by. It does come off a bit tinny, but as long as you're just using it for like watching videos and things like that, it's gonna hold you up fine. Just don't expect to be using this phone as a speaker or anything. Battery life is pretty standard and what you can expect from any mid-range phone. It's definitely gonna hold you throughout the day for day-to-day tasks. As long as you're not doing too heavy intensive tasks, it will easily last you the entire day. What I really love is the charger that you get with the phone. Huawei calls it their supercharged charger, and it is a 40-watt fast charger, and it's said to give about like 70% battery life in 30 minutes of charge. So that is always a very convenient thing to have, is a fast charger. So it may not have the best battery, but the charging really makes up for it. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to talk about the camera of the phone. So we do have a quad camera setup. So we have a 64 megapixel main camera, we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, we have a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and a 2 megapixel macro lens. And it's always nice to have a quad camera setup on a mid-range phone. Here are some photos that it took for the time that I had the phone. Photos are very sharp, and in the right lighting conditions you can get a really good shot. I do like that we do have an ultra wide lens on this phone. It's always nice to have the option for a wider field of view. Then the super night shot mode you also have available on this phone, which just means that you have the option to take better photos in lower lighting conditions. As for video recording, the phone can record up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and it also has EIS, which is electronic image stabilization, which just better helps stabilize video. I've never really loved the look of Huawei's videos recording. I just feel like it sharpens it a lot and just doesn't give the best, cleanest result. But yeah, video quality is fine. Overall, the camera does deliver good performance and is definitely one of the phone's best features. Now I want to talk about the star of the show, which is the pop-up selfie camera that we have here. So this is a 16 megapixel sensor with an f2.2 aperture, and it is a wider lens, so that means you can get more things in frame, and I was overall very happy with the performance. I think it would be interesting to see how this mechanism holds up over time. So if you have this phone for a few years, if this thing would jam after time, if it got like dust in there or something. So I think that would just be interesting to see long term how this thing holds up. Overall, the phone held up pretty well, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a mid-range Huawei phone. However, with all the software limitations on Huawei's operating system, I would be hesitant to recommend this over, say, another company like Samsung's mid-range phones. Well, there are parts of this phone which are really good, like the camera. The software is something that you use every single day, and since part of it is lacking and getting apps is such a hassle, there are other mid-range phones that I would recommend over this one just because usability will be so much better. So yeah, that was my review on the Huawei Nova Y9a. Like I said, I mentioned all the features of the phone, my thoughts on them, and while some of these features are good on their own, the whole phone as a whole is not something that I was heavily impressed by, just because I think software-wise the phone is lacking in some areas, which is sad because Huawei was on top of their game a while back. But yeah, that is my only complaint, and one that I think is very good to take in mind when deciding whether this phone is good for you or not. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below any other questions you have for me regarding this phone. Definitely subscribe by clicking on the icon on the screen. Click on the playlist to see all of my other Huawei related videos, and click on the video to see my previously uploaded video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!